How are you, ladies and gentlemen? So now we continue with pelvic anatomy. So in this presentation, I'm going to discuss about the ovarian anatomy. So detailed notes on the anatomy of the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. So we would touch on the fallopian tubes in the next lecture because it will be too long. So ovarian anatomy. The ovaries are paired female reproductive organs responsible for production of ova, oogenesis, secretion of female sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, inhibin, and relaxin. They are the female gonads and are located within the pelvic cavity on either side of the uterus. So these are the ovaries there, the ovaries there, the uterus is here, the fallopian tube is there, the cervix there, and the vagina there. So anatomically, that's where you have your two ovaries like that. So the gross anatomy of the ovary. Location, the ovaries lie in the ovarian fossa on the lateral pelvic wall. So this is the lateral pelvic wall there. Posterior to the broader ligament, inferior to the external iliac vessels, anterior to the ureter and internal iliac vessels. The ovarian fossa is bounded by superiorly external iliac vessels, posteriorly ureter and internal iliac artery, anteriorly obliterated uterine artery. So the size of the ovary in a reproductive age woman, each ovary measures approximately length 3 to 5 centimeters, the width 1.5 to 3 centimeters, the thickness 1 to 2 centimeters. So the weight of an ovary is between 5 to 8 grams. Size varies according to age, the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and menopause. So the shape of an ovary, the ovary is almond shaped. So you see that's an almond shaped, slightly flattened, white to grayish white. That's the color. The surface of the ovary has two surfaces. Medial surface face the uterus and contains loops of bowel. The lateral side lies against the ovarian fossa containing the pelvic wall. So the borders of an ovary, anterior a mesovarium border. So attached to the broader ligament by the mesovarium contains the ovarian hilum. So you see here is your mesovarium here. We got our broader ligament which is here, the suspensory ligament that is there. So this is the ovary, the right ovary and the left ovary there. So this is the anatomical position of the ovary there. So this is the ovarian ligament there and the uterine fallopian tubes which are here. We got the suspensory ligament again here, which is holding the ovaries in space. So posterior border, free border, no peritoneal attachment. So there's no peritoneal attachment at the posterior border of the ovary. So the pores of the ovary, tubal, the superior pore, so which is the upper pore that we have here, and then we have got the lower pore that is there, the upper pore there, and the lower pore. Connected to the fimbria by the ovarian ligament of the ovary. So you can see that's where it is connected to the fimbria there. And then the uterine inferior pore connected to the uterus by the ovarian ligament. So it's connected to the uterus there by the ovarian ligament. That's the ovarian ligament there. So that's the lower pore. This is the uterus there. So the attachments of the ovary, we've got the mesovarium, a short peritoneal fold attaching the ovary to the broader ligament. So we got the mesovarium there that we have there. That's the mesovarium that we have there. That's the mesovarium. Functions of the mesovarium supports the ovary, carries the blood vessels, carries nerves, and carries the lymphatics. So the ovarian ligament, so this is the ovarian ligament, the uterine ovarian ligament there. You see there it is. It's attaching the ovary to the uterus. It's a fibromuscular band connecting the ovary, the uterus, runs from uterine cone to the inferior pole of the ovary. So that's where it runs from the inferior cone of the uterus there into the lower pole of the ovary. This is the upper pole of the ovary, the lower pole of the ovary. So you've got the uterus ovarian ligament there that is holding the ovary in place. So the suspensory ligament of the ovary, which is called the infundibulopelvic ligament. So this is the suspensory ligament of the ovary. You can see it there. So peritoneal fold connecting ovary to the lateral pelvic wall contains ovarian artery, ovarian vein, lymphatics, nerves, very important surgically. So it is very important surgically, this suspensory ligament. So we got the fallopian tube there, the uterus there, utero-ovarian ligament, the ovary there. We got the broader ligament also this side. But this one that is upper there, that's the suspensory ligament. So the internal structure of the ovary. Internal structure, the ovary consists of the surface epithelium. So we have got the surface epithelium, which is the surface layer of the ovary, or simple cuboidal epithelium. These are the type of the cells which makes up the surface epithelium of the ovary. Previously called the germinal epithelium. So they say it used to be called the germinal epithelium. This name is incorrect because it does not produce germ cells. So that's why it was then changed to just surface epithelium. Okay, we also got the tunica albuginea. The tunica, this is the tunica albuginea that we have there. That's the tunica albuginea. So dense connective tissue beneath the epithelium provides structural support. So the tunica albuginea confers the structural support to the ovary itself. So also with the cortex, which is the functional part of the ovary. So this area that we have here, this is our cortex. That's the cortex, the whole of that. That's the cortex. The outer functional region contains the ovarian follicles. So you can see these are the ovarian follicles that we have there. Then the corpus luteum. So you can see the corpus luteum there. It contains also the corpus albigans, which is the degenerated corpus luteum. We are going to talk about that when we talk about the ovarian cycle. And then the stromal tissue, it also contains the stromal tissue. So the follicles include, these are the follicles, the different follicles. So you can see here we have got the primordial follicle, the primary follicle, the primordial follicle, the secondary follicle, then the early tertiary follicle, the atretic follicle there, then the pre-ovulatory late tertiary graphene follicle. Then you've got the corpus luteum, corpus albicans. We are going to discuss about the ovarian cycle. So the follicles include the primordial follicles, the primary follicles, the secondary follicles, the graphene follicles. Ovulation occurs here. Okay, that's where ovulation occurs when the graphene or the mature follicle ruptures, and then it will transform into a corpus luteum cyst when the ovum is shed. So also with the medulla, which is this central part of the ovary here, we can see there's blood supply, the nerves and all that. So the inner vascular region contains the blood vessels, the lymphatics, the nerves, loose connective tissue. No follicles are present. You can see that there are no follicles which are present in the medulla of the ovary. So the blood supply of the ovary, the arterial supply, ovarian artery, origin, abdominal aorta just below the renal arteries, travels through suspensory ligament, anastomosis with uterine artery. So you can see the uterine artery branch provides the collateral ovarian circulation. So this is the anatomy, the iliac artery there, the uterine artery, then you have with the ovarian ligament there, then you have with the infundibulopelvic ligament there, and then the fallopian tube, the external iliac artery there. This is the right ovarian artery. See, that's the right ovary, which is a direct branch of the aorta. So it directly branch from the aorta, then it comes like that. So this is the blood supply of the ovary. So the venous drainage of the ovary forms the paminiform plexus, right ovary and vein from the inferior, it drains into the inferior vena cava. Then the left ovarian vein drains the left renal vein. So you can see they drain differently. We are saying that the right ovarian vein drains in the inferior vena cava, whereas the left ovarian vein now drains in the left renal vein. So you can see here what we have. So this is the right renal vein there. Then we got the right ovarian vein there, which is directly draining into the inferior vena cava. And then we do have got our left ovarian vein there, which is draining directly into the left renal vein. So that's the difference. The anatomical difference is the left ovarian drains into the left renal vein, which will eventually drain into the inferior vena cava, whereas the right ovarian vein drains directly into the inferior vena cava. So the nerve supply of the ovary from ovarian plexus, renal plexus, aortic plexus, and the sympathetic fibers T10 to T11. So this is the nerve supply of the ovaries. So we are saying they are coming from the ovarian plexus, renal plexus, aortic plexus, sympathetic fibers T10 to T11. Pain from the ovary is often referred to the periumbilical region because of the lineage of the nerve supply. So that's the referred pain. So the lymphatic drainage of the ovary drains to the para-aortic lumbar lymph nodes. This differs from the uterus, which drains primarily to the pelvic lymph nodes. So the function of the ovary performs two major functions, which is the exocrine function, which produces mature ova. Then you also have got the endocrine function, which produces estrogen, progesterone, inhibin, relaxin, anti-Mullerian hormone AMH. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our presentation on ovarian anatomy. So, it is this ovarian anatomy that formulates the foundation that we use to build on the sonographic appearances and the pathologies that you find in an ovary. If you understand the anatomy building up on the sonographic appearances, the pathologies will be much easier for you. So I've given the skeleton. Thank you so much.